On this episode of Cape Media News, thousands of Cape residents participate in the National Lights for Liberty Vigil to protest the treatment of immigrants and children at the U.S. Mexico border. The Nuclear Decommissioning Citizens Advisory Panel meets to discuss pending legislation concerning the Pilgrim Nuclear Power Station in Plymouth. And we learn how to prevent tick bites with tick expert and entomologist Larry Dapsis. These stories and more, this is Cape Media News. This is Cape Media News, your local authentic newscast for Cape Cod. I'm Gabrielle Rawson. Thank you so much for joining us. Tensions at the U.S. Mexico border are at an all-time high. The mass migration of hundreds of thousands of Central Americans has shined a spotlight on the American policies that relate to the treatment of asylum seekers. In response to what many are calling a humanitarian crisis, thousands gathered last week as part of a nationwide Lights for Liberty vigil to protest the treatment of adults and children at the border. The event was held in more than 700 towns across the country, several of which were held right here on Cape Cod. We visited the vigil in Chatham, where many gathered in the rain. Emily Tulloch reports.
Thousands of Americans from all over the country gathered last weekend to raise awareness on the treatment of children, adults, and families at detention camps along the U.S. Mexico border. The Lights for Liberty vigil was held in cities all over the country, and on Cape Cod, more than a dozen towns responded to this national issue by holding their own rallies.
Hi, I'm Roz Coleman, and I've been tasked with the responsibility of being the response team in Chatham for the Chatham Democrats. But Lights for Liberty is not partisan. We just want to celebrate our democracy. And that's what Lights for Liberty does. And I hope people will watch a lot of folks around the country standing up for the Statue of Liberty.
The event was led by faith communities, political groups, human rights, and social justice organizations.
We need businesses all over this country in small towns. And that's what immigrants could provide for us. They're not the enemy. They are our future.
700 rallies and vigils in the United States were planned. More than 1,400 people participated on Cape Cod. We met with other attendees to ask why the vigil was important to them.
I want to be in solidarity with all the people who are actually outside the camps today, saying, no, this is not who we are, this is not who we're going to become. I just knew that you can't not be present where people are saying no to this.
I'm here today pretty much to echo the sentiments that have already been said. The Statue of Liberty, give me you're tired, you're poor. My ancestors were immigrants to this country. I think we are a country, the country I'm proud of is one that would welcome families and children who are fleeing terrible conditions, and we would want to welcome them here. I really do believe in my heart that the American people are good people. So my hope is that we as the American people would join together and welcome those who are coming here just the way our ancestors came here.
The Lights for Liberty vigil was held on July 12th at Chatham Town Hall. In Chatham, for Cape Media News, I'm Emily Tulloch.
In response to this issue at the border, both the Senate and the House passed a bill last month that would deliver $4.6 billion in humanitarian assistance. President Trump signed the border crisis funding package into law on July 1st. You can learn more about House Bill 3401 by visiting the Library of Congress online. The Pilgrim Nuclear Power Station in Plymouth powered down for the very last time in May, but that was just the first of many stages in the station's decommissioning process. The plant is currently owned by Entergy, who wants to transfer the decommissioning project to Holtec Decommissioning International, an energy technology company that says it can safely decommission the plant in just 8 short years. But the possibility of a license transfer leaves many local leaders concerned that unforeseen decommissioning costs will be left in the hands of taxpayers. The Nuclear Decommissioning Citizens Advisory Panel held a public meeting this Wednesday to hear from local, state, and federal elected officials to discuss the priorities, concerns, and legislative initiatives related to the decommissioning of the Pilgrim Nuclear Power Station. Cape Media News reports. After generating electricity for more than 47 years, the Pilgrim Nuclear Power Station shut down its reactor for the very last time in May. But turning the reactor off was the easy part. In order to meet United States Nuclear Regulatory Commission safety standards, Pilgrim must now safely decontaminate and dismantle the site.
The plant did shut down May 31st of this year. We've defueled the reactor. We've then gone in what we call phase 1, and we've separated 300 employees. So we have 270 employees remaining, focused on the safety of the spent fuel pool and the site itself.
The process of storing and removing contaminated materials can take up to 60 years, but Entergy is hoping to speed up that process by selling Pilgrim to Holtec International, an energy technology company that claims they can complete the decommissioning process in just 8 short years.
We put together the joint application. We went through a competitive process to find a party that would be interested in doing this. There's a number of parties nationwide that do this type of work, that come in and do decommissioning of spent nuclear plants. And we did go through this process with Holtec and found them to be the right company for this particular project.
For Entergy, who does not have any specialty in decommissioning, it goes to a company that has that expertise, but it's better for the community because they'll see this site available for reuse in 8 years versus the model that we've chosen, which could be up to 60 years.
But many local leaders are concerned that there won't be enough funding to safely finish the job.
And there is a very serious fear that the state is going to be left with a very big bill, and perhaps coupled to that, a poorly done job because people will cut corners to save money.
My biggest concern has been about the lack of information that we've been getting from some of the agencies and from Holtec in particular about where their financial backing is from and what their plans are for the town of Plymouth, what they intend to do in terms of working with the town of Plymouth now that they're going to be the owner of this very large-scale project and a lot of property in town, over 1,500 acres.
The Nuclear Decommissioning Citizens Advisory Panel meets monthly to address these concerns.
The NDCAP was created by an act of the legislature 2 years ago, and the purpose of this group is to gather information and share it with the public, both from Entergy, from government agencies, now from Holtec and the NRC, to find out what the plans are with the decommissioning and now the shutdown of the plant and what is going to happen with the property, especially as it relates to the nuclear waste repository.
A number of bipartisan legislative items have been filed to ensure that the residents of Plymouth and the Commonwealth will be protected.
We do have legislation because we have to do our jobs to protect the Commonwealth, to protect the citizens of the area and protect the town of Plymouth as well.
We want to express our concerns that we would like to see in this memorandum of understanding to make sure that the town of Plymouth and our region are well served.
This legislation before us would in fact require that we would ultimately follow the liability, follow the money for whoever is ultimately responsible to making sure that that site gets cleaned up. And I want that for everyone. We probably won't be around here, but our children and our children's children will be around here. And who's dealing with the liability of a site that is ultimately not totally cleaned up is something that we all have a responsibility to.
Plymouth's Board of Selectmen delivered a 16-point address asking that the transfer decision support Plymouth's growth and quality of life.
Corporations need to make profit decisions that impact their bottom line. However, our decisions as a select board will impact the quality of life in Plymouth and how we continue to manage our growth. This experience that we have dictates that all the decision makers must be at the table. Much is at stake for the future generations of citizens from Plymouth and the surrounding communities. We seek a stronger bargaining position and do not want to be consulted after the fact. The clock on the license transfer is running out, and we will not be cornered with stalled discussions. Much is at risk and needs to be addressed immediately.
A potential decision on the transfer from Entergy to Holtec may come next month. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission would neither confirm or deny this claim. In Plymouth, for Cape Media News, I'm Gabrielle Rawson. Cape Media News will continue to bring you coverage on this important issue in the coming months. If you'd like to attend NDCAP's next public meeting, they're held every third Wednesday at the Plymouth Community Intermediate School in Plymouth. You can learn more at mass.gov/Nuclear Decommissioning Citizens Advisory Panel. Up next, an interview with local tick expert Larry Dapsis. Tick-borne illnesses are a serious health concern for people who visit and live on Cape Cod, especially during the summer months when ticks are in their nymph stage and harder to see. The main culprit of tick-borne illnesses, the deer tick, can transmit up to 4 different diseases, including Lyme's disease, and can even be transmitted to your pets. Our very own Emily Tulloch met with entomologist and local tick expert Larry Dapsis to learn more.
They have 8 legs, sharp teeth, and love making a home under our skin. Yes, we're talking about ticks. With summer in full swing and a mild winter behind us, many Cape Codders are concerned with the tick population. Larry Dapsis, entomologist for Cape Cod Cooperative Extension, sat down to dispel rumors and provide insight on the 2019 tick population.
There's been a lot of media coverage kind of sensationalizing that with the mild winter we had, this means it's the tick apocalypse is going to occur this year. And what people don't understand is that the size of the tick population this year is based on the size of the acorn crop 2 years ago. So there's a lot of complex ecological factors that lead to the size of the tick population in any given year. Now, the mild weather that people have been quoting as the reason for this is that it's in a harsh winter, ticks survive. They make antifreeze. So the fact that we had a mild winter just means that people were taking advantage of mild weather, getting outdoors and running into ticks that were already there. So it's basically business as usual for us this year. So what I tell people is tick season starts January 1st, goes to December 31st, starts up again January 1st. So you got to be vigilant year round, but particularly during the summer months.
Nymph stage ticks are active during the summer months, found in leaf litter, and are responsible for 85% of tick-borne diseases. Lyme disease isn't the only concern.
We're up to 5 different diseases that we know these black-legged ticks, or what we call deer ticks, can transmit. Beyond Lyme, we have babesiosis, which is kind of like getting malaria, quite serious, anaplasmosis, relapsing fever, and several years ago we found out we've had cases of Powassan virus here on Cape Cod.
Dapsis emphasizes ticks are a natural part of the landscape and prevention is the best measure to take. He suggests first spraying your clothes and shoes with permethrin and using other repellents to reduce tick exposure.
So if you treat, pants and socks, it keeps its activity through 6 washings. I tell people treat your footwear once a month. This is the most effective tool in the box we have. Now there are other repellents that contain, actives like DEET or picaridin or oil of lemon eucalyptus. And those are for treating exposed skin. But you definitely want to wear proper footwear and treat it with the permethrin, because those nymph stage ticks that we're talking about being out there right now, responsible for 85% of all tick-borne diseases, they are down in the leaf litter. The first place they attach to is your footwear. Don't be afraid of your environment. But understand your environment, understand your risk and the measures you can do to protect yourself. Prevention doesn't require a whole complex game plan. It's pretty simple. Tick checks and treated clothing and footwear, consider a perimeter yard spray, and certainly do things to protect your pets.
If bitten, sending the tick for testing is possible, Dapsis reports.
We have had a collaborative program with the Laboratory of Medical Zoology at UMass Amherst. They test ticks. And with the support of Cape Cod Healthcare, Cape Cod residents can get their ticks tested with a subsidy. So for Cape residents right now, testing a tick is $15. And the benefit of this is that you see what you were potentially exposed to, because what we see in all the ticks tested last year on Cape Cod, 13% were co-infected, meaning they were packing 2, 3, sometimes 4 pathogens, and you can get more than one of these diseases at the same time. So it doesn't mean you're going to get sick, but now if you are not feeling good and it's time to start having a conversation with your doctor, now you have some hard data to go on.
For more information on tick prevention and safety, visit capecodextension.org. In Barnstable, for Cape Media News, I'm Emily Tellick.
To reduce the chances that a tick will transmit a disease to you or your pet, make sure to check regularly for ticks and protect yourself by wearing long clothing and using repellents. You can learn more about tick-borne illnesses and how to prevent them at capecodextension.org. The town of Barnstable has welcomed a new deputy chief of police. Surrounded by his colleagues and loved ones, 17-year veteran officer Mark Cabral was sworn in on Friday, June 14th, at police headquarters in Hyannis. Cape Media News was there.
I state your name.
I, Mark Cabral,
Do solemnly affirm.
Do solemnly affirm
That I will do my duty.
That I will do my duty
As Deputy Chief of the Barnstable Police Department.
As Deputy Chief of the Barnstable Police Department.
I will uphold, defend, and enforce.
I will uphold, defend, and enforce.
The ordinances of the town of Barnstable.
The ordinances of the town of Barnstable.
The laws, rules, and regulations.
The laws, rules, and regulations.
Of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
And the Constitution of the United States of America.
And the Constitution of the United States of America.
To the best of my ability, so help me God.
To the best of my ability, so help me God.
There's a new deputy chief at the Barnstable Police Department. Mark Cabral, former night supervisor and 17-year veteran of the department, was sworn in last month at police headquarters in Hyannis.
This has been a long time coming. It's been about a year. This process has been rolling forward, trying to get this done. I really appreciate everybody for being here to recognize Mark Cabral. He really deserves it. He's been an outstanding employee, and he's always been there whenever I needed some advice. He's been around for it. He works very hard. He's done a great job, especially in the dispatch center. We're going to get a new plaque out there, the Cabral Memorial Dispatch Center, because he's done such a great job with that. It's truly awesome.
I want to thank my wife and my boys putting up with me, basically leaving every night, working midnights for the last 7+ years. I really owe my ability to shine here in this department to every one of you that carries out my mission and ultimately the chief's mission and the mission of the BPD. So I just want to thank every one of you, and I'm really looking forward to trying to take care of the rest of you, some of you that I've never had a chance to supervise. I'm really looking forward to trying to find my way to take care of you in the way that I believe I've taken care of these midnight guys the last 7 years. So that's really going to be my goal here as I move forward.
Cabral said he would work to improve conditions for officers in Barnstable.
I'm going to look anywhere and everywhere that I can, along with the chief, to find ways that we can do something differently, to do it better, to find things that we can do to bring to you to make your job a little bit easier. The way it's going right now, this is a very tough profession.
I've been trying to fill this position for a little while, and it's going to take a lot of stuff off my plate in particular, but Mark, with his background, he's got a strong community background. He's been involved in the adopt-a schools. He's out there in the community a lot. He's been on the midnight shift. He's built a real strong relationship with a lot of people that work here. He's very supportive of the people that work with him and for him. So I think it'll be a great fit. It's awesome. Awesome day for the BPD.
Mark has done a terrific job in terms of working his way up the ladder to become the deputy chief. So we as the town councils wish him nothing but the best. He's organized. I think he'll do wonderful things for the department and for the town as a whole.
I mean, what he did out at the emergency response area, getting it open, just incredible.
We're very excited for him. We wish him congratulations and good luck moving forward. I think he's a wonderful choice for this position, and we're very excited about the future.
Deputy Chief Cabral was sworn in on Friday, June 14th. He was assigned as the commander of the Field Services Bureau. In Hyannis, for Cape Media News, I'm Gabrielle Rawson. We followed up with Deputy Chief Cabral, who says although his first month has been trying in light of the unexpected passing of Sergeant Jason Sturgis, it's highlighted the need to create better planning and supports for a line-of-duty death. He also tells us that since his promotion, the vibe among the halls is very positive. Up next, behind the scenes with the YD Red Sox.
Do you notice the large influx of cyclists on our roads in the summer? Every year, 4,000 international students choose to make Cape Cod their home for the summer and for the experience of a lifetime. Biking is their main and often only mode of transportation. I'm Kathy Boyle with the Mid-Cape Assembly of God. Our mission is to provide safety equipment to these visitors as well as late-night shuttles to ensure their safe commute to and from work. These university students are future teachers, engineers, and ambassadors. They come to share their cultures with us while contributing to the Cape economy during our busiest season. Unfortunately, they can't realize these dreams if they don't make it home safely. We're asking for donations to purchase bike lights and reflective vests and to fund the nightly shuttles that are imperative to these students' safety. Please visit midcapej1housing.org or email j1latebus@gmail.com to learn how you can contribute. Please help us ensure that these future world leaders have a fun and safe summer in our community.
Welcome back to Cape Media News. I'm Gabrielle Rawson. The Cape Cod Baseball League is getting ready to wind up for a big finale. With just 2 weeks left until the playoffs, players are making every minute on the field count. This week we visited Merrill Red Wilson Field to get to know the YD Red Sox. Tyler Allen reports.
It's 3 strikes, you're out in the Cape League. Today we visited Red Wilson Field, home of the YD Red Sox.
Brad Beasley. I'm a center fielder, senior from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
My name's Taylor Dollard. I'm a right-handed pitcher, going to be a junior at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
My name's RJ Yeager. I'm from Panama City, Florida, shortstop from Mercer University.
My name's Jack Thomas Wold from Henderson, Nevada. I go to UNLV, play first base.
The Cape League can be competitive. We asked players how they plan to get a leg up this season.
Well, first and foremost, just facing the competition every single day gets you ready for the higher levels of baseball, but also just coming out every single day. You know, lately we've had some rainouts and whatnot, so having to play back-to-back games all the time, it really tests you mentally and physically. So I think it's great for preparing us for the next level.
A great stay so far. I've enjoyed my time for sure. Picked up a lot of things going forward for me, and I think that I'm most excited just to keep playing. I mean, I love the guys out here, and I love the energy and the atmosphere and the competition. So just got to keep it going and get through it.
Everybody that plays here, you see them succeed at the next level. So this league really, you know, gives you what you need in order to succeed. Everybody, I mean, moves on, and absolutely loves their time up here. And I'm grateful for the opportunity. An incredible ride up here. We're about halfway through it right now, and moving forward, I just want to build on the things I've learned up here and put them to the test.
It was a lot different than I expected, even though I didn't expect it to be like down in talent at all. But I mean, the arms out here are incredible, and the bats are just as good, and you know, the travel isn't as bad as some of the other leagues, but we are playing a lot of games, getting a lot of work in, and the competition's definitely up.
Cape League prepares players for the big league. Coach Pickler says the name of the game is having stamina.
Part of it is when they go to the big leagues, they're going to play 162 games. And right now, because of the rain in the Cape in June, we're going to play 27 days straight. The scouts are here to see who's still playing hard, who can bring it every night. They only need to go 44 games in the playoffs here. In a year, they're going to ask them to go 162 games. So, you know, what they're looking for is the guy that comes out and brings it every night. You know, the guys that are doing really well up to this point, Wyatt Young is a freshman for Pepperdine. That's one of the top in batting average in this league. Austin Wells is having a very good summer. Taylor Dollard out of our pen is throwing really well.
Like the guys to come out, positive energy, be ready to go and be locked in from the first pitch until the end of the ball game. And, you know, hopefully pitching does well and we get some timely hits and play some great defense and we'll get back on track.
The Sox won 5-3 with a victory over the Brewster Whitecaps. In Yarmouth for Cape Media News, I'm Tyler Allen.
And Cape Media News will continue to take you behind the scenes in the coming weeks. To get the latest stats or to find a game near you, visit capecodbaseball.org. Well, that brings this week's episode of Cape Media News to a close. Please follow us on Facebook for more daily local news coverage, and thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. With Cape Media News, I'm Gabrielle Rawson.